This is Krysia Orlowski, and I will be reading today some poems from my manuscript, which is titled Corpse Song. Every 40 seconds, I am distracted by random bursts of hope. Ice glitters the poplars. Recognition quivers the baby's eyes, forms lidded hollowed spaces to hide between and in. You are there holding nunchucks, and I am there holding a book. Don't be fearful. Be furious. Beat tyrant's scorn, winter's rages. Every 40 seconds you periphery my eye. Dear unlaid ghost, why make the bed? You might believe you fade, quick as you arrive, but history repeated echoes once more. Hope is not a thing, not habitual, but momentary madness. You'd be surprised at the size of the gloves my mind straps on. Beats me a body, masking taped and indigoed, a body huddled and cornered, trying to remember the girl I was born into, scrawny, small, and struggling. The first lesson is to survive. She never learned. Can't navigate the playground. Can't compartmentalize either. She reads too much Plath, shouts the perfect comeback line months late. Pours an especially vitriolic bourbon measured out over ice, gives the room a sultry manner. Remember the girl folded over on the bed, arms wrapped around her head. She wears an eye patch. She snacks on nails and broken glass. Said the half-worm to his other half, let's divide and conquer this concrete kingdom. I meant to say kingdom, as in thy kingdom come, as in noun, a country, a territory, or a psyche ruled by relatives. Relative, like the spouse's knife under the pillow. First we marry what we know, then to escape it. Said the escapist, you can only float if you have balloons, but even balloons need air. After we buried the thought of baby, we wrote his name on a Christmas ball, hooked it to the balsam. She sheds needles daily. Grief is relative. Truth is nothing left to bury. Witch, mother, witch. Motherhood is a perverse child's universe. I at its center, paralyzed witch. Mother, you vanished, or me you banished. What answers you seek? The egg came anyway. Your hands are like meat hooks. Did they caress best they could? It's not about lack of love. It's the inability to fake. A non-ached head, a restful bed, a rusted metal bird gleaming. Mother, you are the stubborn ring of black mold. Once you consoled like a jar of home-canned summer peaches. Even canned goods rot. Oh, mother, when the grinder shredded the maple, I covered my ears. I thought of you. At the hospital opening the new wing. It's cocktail hour. I wear the dress to accentuate the parts, clavicle, patella, iliac crest. The new hospital wing glows terribly white, pale walls, blanched chairs, blank skin, everywhere exposed in jewels we can't take our eyes off. The woman who wears a white feather boa fluttering on her sternum. Ah, philanthropy is oft confused with philauti, but how can I love enough to put my name on a building, to feel comfortable in your skin? And as you hand me another gray goose, say, there, for tonight I shrink through the aperture of my heart when I tell you how, with a surgeon's precision, the geese incise the dusk, over and again. I could not stem the flow. There is no difference between me and my shadow. There is no difference between my shadow and other shadows. We are all blurred around the edges, dark-haired, gray-tinged. Today on 4th Street, my son mistook the prostitute on the corner as me. Both of us sport dark hair and lust for blue eyeshadow. Mother as whore, but who wore it better? My hands still boast the marks from the time I was crucified on the hood of a flowered Volkswagen Beetle. The love bug was designed on a napkin. I wrote this poem on a napkin. No smoking signs are everywhere, on fire hoses, over urinals, at the bottom of swimming pools. Each day, babies rise in revolution, puff cigarettes in their bassinets. The deaf sing discordant, harmonies immune to their own clamor. Everyone must choose. Will you be the diva trying to quench the cacophony, or will you dive among them and be immune? I prefer to throw myself in a sea of stones where pebbles, hard and jagged, spark against each other, radiant greens and indigos. Speak beautiful, be my drowning. This next poem owes its title to Robert Frost. Some say the world will end in fire. Today the sky burned. The ash trees exposed black against the yellow sky. Even the crows were concerned. I took a picture of it all on an ancient digital camera, the kind of device designed to be only a camera. What lack of ambition. This guy said, "Do I really look like that?" I replied, "This photo does not do you justice." I only ever feel alive when afraid. I wanted to say, but could not, beauty is terrifying, and you, sky, you have never been more beautiful. Not content to idle, I singe things. Sometimes it seems I am always setting fires. This book, this house, that museum. Sometimes it seems everything is already burned. Those cork trees, this corpse. Say empyrosis is desire, or desire is this ustulate world. The evening sky burned yellow. I thought it had finally begun, but instead it began to rain. The sky is raining piranhas, said the meteorologist. Take a bite or be bitten. We turn our faces cloudwards to catch them on our tongues. Such tart rapture. But is rapture miracle or disaster? Some think desire is enough to keep the world from dying too soon. This is not a question about desire. What catches fire must merge. To quench fire, 1. Give thanks it didn't rain crocodiles. 2. Drink of water. When I say love, I mean thimble. I mean a kind of small metallic armor. I don't wear thimbles. This makes me skin split and uninhabitable. There is one remedy. Not a blood-stained kind of gold lace into netting. Spread it on the sand. It catches light. It catches 1,000 steel blades. It catches all the thimbles in the world. Because a steel blade is best on skin, I carved a canyon, built a dam of thimbles, and awaited the flooding. I forgot the trees. I forgot that thimbles have tiny holes. Every day is a choice, death or desire. Desire is an affliction. Dying is a practice without compromise. I set a high bar. Bar none, this is the most amazing pumpkin pie. Does desire burn so simple? I have read too much Hopkins to know how to feel about God. In the Museum of Mausoleums, I sift through ashes in search of fragments to inlay box lids, string with prayer beads, wrap around my neck. The truth is, I have nothing to say about pie. We built a crematorium, but the authorities decreed the only way to keep remains is to erect a mausoleum in the garden, stake the path with tiki torches, and pray it doesn't rain. Tomorrow your fire wicks out. It snuffs without regret, while I must greet so many casserole-bearing dignitaries. Death is exhausting, like pyromania, like birth. Because decision-making is not my strength, I roll back the stone outside your tomb. I beg you to choose, amore, cork tree, or black ash. Winter again, and this week of white cold is a dark lid on the mindscape the eye can't caress. My heart I put in a bone lacquer box that I intended to bury before the ground froze. Now box sits on a shelf in the broom closet, waiting for first thaw. Add to that another white box. Add to that flint and tinder. My fear of falling keeps me from walking too near the cinder-tinged mounds of snow at the edge of the road. Today the car brakes froze over. Through the intersection I slivered, alarmingly slow-motioned over ice. Add to that fears of sleep and shiver. Take the gray dim sky as significant. The world won't burn anytime soon. You may want to call ahead to the nearest emergency room. Ophthalmologists are standing by. You did not intend to lose body parts. You have not thought of what to do, but you should. Rinse the severed finger or part thereof. Keep toes cold but not icy. Do not swallow the tooth. Suck the dirt off until pearly white. Put the tooth back in its socket. Do not put it in backwards. Do not push the eyeball back in its socket when your eyelid falls behind your eyeball. This happens when poked. When it happens to you, do not remove the pencil from your neck. Do not remove the lance from your skull. Do not remove the stinger from your carotid artery. You will bleed. You will hemorrhage. Do not remove the heart when it pushes forward of its socket. Desire to be free happens when poked. Do not put the heart on ice. Freezer burn makes it difficult to reattach. Put the heart back in its socket. Do not put it in backwards. Bite down. This should feel normal. If not, tuck the heart in your cheek. Do not swallow the heart. The longer you keep the heart out, the less successful the implantation. An hour is all the time you have. An hour is all the time you had. Corpse Song. Were you dropped or were you sung? Do you blotch or do you therm? When you put your fingers in my mouth, you thumb all my words. I beg you to stop. I beg for a sword. Was it you who said, swords aren't good enough at a gunfight? Or was it you who begged, choose, mirth or scotch? Choose, sour or blue. Don't look at me and think I was cherished. I was only one of many. I was too few. You are in love with the corpse, or the hammer and chisel that formed my repose. Do your elbows burn on the sisal? Is it like riding a bike? Do you feel the kick? Take a cuff to the heart or a hammer to the head. The only way to survive a knife is to bring a gun to the fight. In the space between love and sex is a canyon river copse. Meet me there.